What is up, car addicts? In this video I'm going to be giving a guide for this week's normal time trial, RC Bandito time trial, and the premium race for this week, totaling over $300,000. Remember, the time trials can only be completed once a week for the full $100,000 payout. The premium race, however, can be completed in a limited amount of times with a 48-minute cooldown between each win. Also keep in mind that rocket-powered / flying vehicles cannot be used in time trials. So, starting off with the time trial this week, which is Observatory, I highly recommend either the Shotaro, Hakachu Drag, Batty 801, or a quick car for this time trial. Now in terms of route, this one is pretty tricky depending on which route you take. There are two very popular main different shortcut routes people take for this time trial. The fastest one is this one right here, which is very difficult and mainly suited for bikes. It is possible with cars, but it's very difficult with cars. It's, again, more suited for bikes. And the second one here, which I call the top speed route, is obviously heavily based on top speed and allows you to complete it a lot more easily, and with most cars as well that have a top speed higher than 122 miles an hour. And that's the one I'll be using for this time trial. Now the hardest part of this time trial, if you take the top speed route, is the beginning off-road section, which may take you a few tries to get the hang of and practicing the angle to take properly off some of the jumps. But once you get the hang of that section, it's pretty much smooth sailing all the way to the finish. Now usually for these time trials, I challenge myself by picking either the recently added drip feed car, the prize ride challenge car, or the casino podium car of the corresponding event week. And for this week, we have the Granger 3600 LX as the recently added drip feed car, the T20 as the casino podium car, and the Previon as the prize ride challenge car. Now the Granger has absolutely no chance in beating this time trial unless it teleports to the finish, so that one's pretty much out of the picture. And the Previon just lacks the top speed to be able to beat it. So I chose the infamous T20 for this time trial, and I was just barely able to beat it, as you'll see here. Moving on to this week's RC Bandito time trial, which is Power Station. As always, you need to own an RC Bandito in order to participate in these. So this one is pretty tricky if you've never done it before due to the tighter areas and the one jump off the second floor as well. So I highly recommend using your brakes a lot in this time trial and for those tight areas as well. And when you go off that main jump, make sure to let off the throttle before it so that you have a smooth landing. And lastly, we have this week's premium race, which is Senora Freeway. This one is restricted to the supercars class. I highly recommend either Vest 8, Emirates, or Krieger for this race. And because of how top speed heavy this race is, the Vest 8 is the best one for it. The Emirates and Krieger are also very good for it as well, but they just fall a little behind in the top speed sections in comparison to the Vest 8 in this particular race. Now the biggest mistake people make in this race is not braking on the first corner, especially if you're getting slipstream as you're approaching that corner. You definitely want to brake a bit early, but other than that, it's a pretty easy race for the most part. And that's it, guys. A normal time trial is pretty tricky because of the off-road sections, but if you use a quick car or bike and use the top speed section I showed, you should be able to beat it pretty easily. The RC time trial is pretty tricky as well, but just take it slow and use your brakes a lot and you should be fine. And this week's premium race is pretty easy if you use the Vest 8 and brake for the corners. Again, remember guys, you can earn over $300,000 between the three this week, and setting yourself to go to beat them is always a lot of fun in my personal opinion. Let me know which one you found most difficult and what vehicles you used down below in the comments. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next one.